Good evening. Dr. Ryan here with Executive Consultant Jordan Buckingham. He's going to be going over exactly how to call on business cards. A lot of times we get these cards, they're stuck on bulletin boards. We find a newspaper ad, different real estate agents, insurance professionals, basically professionals in the area. Now, obviously, we're in the business of expanding our business, and we like to reach out to these professionals. Now, Jordan, how do you go about reaching out to professionals like a real estate agent when you want to go ahead and give them a call and see if they're interested in taking a look at the opportunity?
It's a great question, Doc. Hey guys, Jordan Buckingham, Executive Consultant with Ambit Energy, and I can tell you the main thing about making a cold call to somebody that you don't know is you've got to be able to intuitively predict what potentially may be coming and be prepared for any situation that you're going to run into. So the brief script that we're going to run over tonight was developed literally for that purpose, and I'll tell you why it was developed. Whenever I was younger, I was trying to get my business started, and I didn't have a list. I didn't know anybody that I could contact. So I was literally reaching for names anywhere I could. And I made a call to a guy one time, and I distinctly remember being a young man in my early 20s and him backing me into a corner with a question like, "What are you talking about, kid?" And then me trying to answer, and then him beating me again, and then me backing into a corner. And then eventually he ended the call by saying, "Kid, I don't know what you're selling, but I'm not interested." Boom. And the phone clicked on me. And I was young and I was just starting this out, and it was painful because I didn't have a process. And I remember what happened to me at that moment. I looked at that phone and I said, that will never happen to me again. Not because I wasn't going to pick up the phone again, but because I was going to intentionally develop a process that would put me in a situation where whether I got my intended result out of that or not, which was them to look at my business, I wasn't going to be the one that got backed into the corner and got beaten down in that conversation. So that's where all this came from. Step one is you've got to know exactly what's coming whenever the phone is answered, and you've got to know exactly how to handle it. So the two things are going to come out of that person's mouth whenever you answer it. Let's say it's a local real estate agent that has their pretty face up on a billboard, or you've gotten their business card from a cork board, wherever you've gotten it. Two things are going to come out of their mouth whenever you call them and they answer. One is going to be they're going to answer and they're going to say their name. Secondly, they're going to answer and they're going to say nothing. So if they answer and they say their name, "Hi, this is Catherine." "Hi, Catherine, this is Jordan Buckingham. How are you?" I know exactly what's coming. Secondly, "Hello," but they don't state their name. "Hi, is this Catherine?" "Yeah, this is Catherine." "Hi, Catherine, it's Jordan Buckingham. How are you?" Boom. I know exactly what's coming, right? So now she's going to come back at me. She doesn't exactly know who I am most of the time, but she's going to entertain the conversation because an entrepreneur that's put their business card on a board or put their face on a billboard is interested in making money. That's why they're spending that money or out there doing the hustle. So she's going to say, "I'm fine, Jordan. How are you?" She'll say, "Catherine, I'm great. Did I catch you an okay time to chat for a second, or are you busy?" I want to clear the next couple seconds of her calendar, and she said she knows that I'm going to be brief because I said for a second, right? So she's going to confirm typically, "No, this is okay. What are you talking about?" I say, "Great. Well, Catherine, you don't know me, but I'm an entrepreneur. I'm expanding my business in the New England market right now, and I actually found your business card on a corkboard at Starbucks. And this is kind of a random conversation, but it's been my experience that people that are out there hustling, putting their business cards on corkboards, are typically interested in making money. So, Catherine, I really just had a simple, straight-up question for you. Are you at all keeping your options open in terms of creating any cash flow in addition to what you're currently doing now in the real estate profession?" I just want to know if she's open. So ding, ding, ding. Number one is an "are you open" question, okay? So she's typically going to come back with me at one of two different ways. She's either going to say yes, heck yeah, what have you got? Or the most logical answer and what comes most is, yeah, but it depends on what you're talking about, okay? At this point, you better have something to come back with if they throw the "what is it" at you, or you're going to get backed into a corner. I'm just telling you straight up, that's the one question that beats everybody out of their dreams because somebody backs them into a corner and beats them out of their dreams by saying, "What is it?" and then challenges them as they start to go into the valley of death. I'm not going into the valley of death. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to give them a brief description of what I'm talking about, basically a little bit of information without talking about Ambit Energy. So I just say, well, Catherine, I'm spearheading the expansion of an energy company out of Dallas into some major markets. Right now, New England is my focus, and particularly the Boston, Massachusetts market. And I'm looking for a few sharp people to help me do that. Catherine, I'm not sure if this would be interesting to you or not, but I can definitely tell you it'd be worth 15 minutes of your time to check out, because even if it's not interesting to you, entrepreneur to entrepreneur, if you connect me with the right person, you could get paid for the rest of your life for connecting me with the right person. So it's definitely worth a little bit of time to your checkout. I'm going to be in your area Tuesday morning around 9 o'clock. Would you be open to gathering a little bit of coffee with me, 15 minutes? I'll buy you a cup of coffee, show you what I'm working on. Okay, so now she's come back at me with a what is it. I haven't given her any information about ambient energy. It's relatively vague, right? But this is another point, and I'm coming in with an agenda. Okay, everybody needs to know that you have an agenda when you're calling someone. A professional is going to appreciate the fact that you've addressed that and gone right into it. Okay, so step 2 is you've got to have something to come back at the what is it question, which is vague enough that you don't give any information about ambient energy so that they can't make an uninformed decision, but it keeps you in the running for what you want, which is the exposure. And then finally, most of the time, either on step 1 or step 2, they've submitted and gone into my request of getting them access to the information either online or in person. Or step 3 is going to happen. They come at me one more time. Well, Jordan, I don't really know what you're talking about. I think you need to give me a little bit more information over the phone before I'm willing to meet with you or before I'm willing to look at a 5-minute video online. At this point, I'm going to reframe the original question. Just going to be an are you open question again, phrased differently. Well, Catherine, what I mean is, if it wouldn't interfere with your real estate practice at all, meaning you could keep doing that full-time professionally, do you at all keep your options open in terms of creating any extra cash flow on the side on top of what you're doing there? Right? So something along those lines. It doesn't have to be perfect, guys. It doesn't have to be the exact wording, but it's basically a reframe of the original question. At which point, I'm either going to finally make her submit into my agenda, which is to get her to look at the business. Guys, it may sound bad that I have an agenda, but get real. You have one when you call somebody, and people appreciate it if you're real about that. But finally, she's either going to come back at me in, yes, I'll go down the path that you're talking about, or she's going to come back again wanting more information. And at that point, I will take the business away if they're not willing to go into the path that I want them to go down. Because guys, if you're not doing proper invitation, presentation, validations with proper exposures, you're not going to recruit any consultants anyway. Okay? So if they're not willing to go through the process that we've been given by incredible leaders like Ray Monty and Pat Flanner that's out there with the invitation and presentation validation, you might as well not show them the business. Seriously. At that point, I'll take it away. Listen, Christina, I really appreciate you answering the phone today, but this is obviously not something you're willing to look at right now. I've got a very specific process that I like to put people through, and it takes about 15 minutes either on the phone or on a computer. So if you're not willing to do that right now, I really appreciate your time, appreciate you answering the phone, but you have a super day. I got a few more phone calls to make, and I'm done. She has no idea what I'm talking about. A lot of times they'll come back at you, whoa, hang on, if it's just coffee, all right? Whoa, hang on, if we're just talking about a computer, if we're just talking about a video, I'll have a look at it, and it's going to work out. If not, no harm, no foul. I didn't know that person anyway, right? At the end of the day, she's not in my business now. She wasn't in my business whenever I called her. And the best case scenario is she comes in and turns into an executive consultant that makes me hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in my executive coded organization. Or she's exactly where she was whenever she started, which is not in my business. So this has been a very simple training on basically how to make a cold market call. But what I really want you to understand is one of the reasons that people like Dr. Ryan and I are confident in picking up the phone and doing this is we've done it enough times that we know what's coming in most situations, and we have processes and systems and a skill set in place that are going to allow us to handle anything that comes at us without having to deal with the fear and rejection that comes with being backed into a corner. I'll tell you this, from the beginning of this tape, that will never happen to me again, because I developed a skill set forged from that fire that allowed me to become who I am now. So with that, Dr. Ryan, I'll turn it back to you, brother. Appreciate you.
Absolutely, Jordan. You know, that was absolutely incredible information. I think that's going to help a lot of people out there. A lot of times people run out of the war market list and they see these business cards, and you get these business cards at all these networking events. They see them at the mall. They see them on the floor. They advertising campaigns, newspapers. I mean, now we have a way to actually go ahead and access that information and utilize it and actually be able to reach out in a very fundamental, really easy way, very gentle, non-invasive, just really straightforward, and go ahead and contact these people and actually get them to look at the ambit opportunity. So coming out from Chester, Connecticut, we appreciate you guys so much. Hope you can take this information and go ahead and utilize it in your business and build a big business. Dr. Ryan and executive consultant Jordan Buckingham, coming out of Chester, Connecticut. Appreciate you guys.
Booyah.